Hello, Internet, and welcome one and all. My name is Fajer Al-Casey. Fajer rhymes with major. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Dungeon Alchemist to build an immersive break screen for your online Dungeons and Dragons or tabletop role-playing campaign. You are going to go from, just looking down on a simple battle map with the pause button on it to a fully realized, animated, custom intermission screen that you will be able to use for your players in all your Foundry virtual tabletop games. Now, this will allow you to turn your game's downtime into something more immersive, campaign-specific even, and may even possibly encourage some roleplay for your players. This is really useful, worthwhile if you stream your games, if you record your sessions, or if you just want your players to have something neat to look at during the break. As a quick aside, this is something entirely different on the channel. We are usually a live D&D play show, but in an effort to diversify the content and to get more of the watch hours that we need before February with YouTube's insane new partner program requirements, I have no idea what I'm doing also. I'm going to give you a peek behind the curtain into my process as a first-time DM. Just so you can see all the metaphorical blood and guts for yourself. So, this will be the first in a new series called DM Diary, Dear Diary, where I'll share my journey and document any tips and tricks that I find really useful that make a difference for me. And a big one of those, even though I'm not sponsored, is Dungeon Alchemist. And briefly, real quick, if you enjoy this video or find anything useful in here, do give us a like and a subscribe. It's fast and costs you nothing. More importantly, it really means the world to us trying to grow this baby channel on this big bad platform. But without further ado, let's get started. And make sure to stick around to the very end where I will show you some Foundry specific tips to really elevate your intermission screen and some Dungeon Alchemist tips so you can get the most bang for your buck and get 3 or 4 scenes out of your intermission scene. So here are the tools you're going to need for this. Dungeon Alchemist, Foundry VTT. That's it. If you want to get real froggy with it, if you want to get real fancy, you can get an image editor such as Canva or Photopea or GIMP or something like that. If you're streaming, you're obviously going to want a streaming platform to do that, like OBS. And if you would like to add that extra little bit of spice, you might want to consider adding some music or ambient sound that you can plug in to the scene once it's ready in Foundry. Now, first thing you'll want to do is take a second. And let me just switch here. First thing you'll want to do is just kind of take a second and do a brain dump about your campaign, about what we're building here, just to kind of get the juices flowing, the ideas going for what you're building here. And let me just open up a document. This might look different in the video, but I'm opening up a Google Doc where I'm going to just start jotting down what this could be. Maybe it's a cleric's temple. Maybe one of the characters is a cleric. Maybe we put them in the temple of their god or an opposing god. Maybe it's a wizard's study. Or, on the same vein, alchemist's lab, artificer's workshop. What else? We could do, if it's a nautical campaign, we could do a ship deck or cabin. Babin? We could do a classic cozy tavern, inn, or bar. It's easy enough to muck up. Maybe we're doing like, maybe we're in a dungeon and we want to convey that. So maybe it's a doorway into the next dungeon level. Maybe you're doing a survival campaign. You want to do something, a desert, or snowy landscape for survival campaigns. Maybe something a little simpler than that. Maybe it's just a roadside camp, where our players have set up for the night. Tents, cookpots, familiars. Yeah. So as I'm doing this, I think I've really landed on this one. I'm going to do the roadside camp. Mostly because this is why I'm thinking about this. You want your break screen to match the vibes, mostly, of your campaign. If you're running a grim, dark horror setting, you might do the dungeon doorway, or you might do the survival, notch it up, really, like make it seem like it's really dangerous out here in the woods. So I'm running a Wild West Lost Mines of Phandelver kind of take on that module. So I think I'm going to go with the roadside camp, just because I feel like that really meshes with the tone and style of my campaign so far. That's really important in building this. This is not a battle map. This is not going to be used for any strategic thing. It might be used for some roleplay. But you want the break screen to match your campaign's mood and vibes. If you're doing like a grim, dark horror campaign, it's going to look very different than if you're doing a cozy tavern simulator sim, right? Simulator sim. I just said simulator twice. Anyway, we're going to use the example, as I said, of the roadside camp. I think it ties in real nice to my Wild West campaign. Links below. Shameless plug. Again, this is because when you're building this, you want to consider this a mood piece. This ambiance, this is for vibes mostly, and to encourage roleplay. But for that, I think that gives us a lot to play with. Plus, stick around to the end, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to transform it 2 or 3 ways, so you can get some different variations that you might use at different times of the campaign, later on, do a time skip, different times of the day, night, day, evening kind of settings. So this will be very versatile. And again, there's also no reason you can't use this not as a break screen, as just like a scene. Throw it up and encourage some role play to happen in the location you're putting up. So you can describe it, have some visual cues as well. So let's get started in Dungeon Alchemist. And I will show you guys step by step exactly what I'm doing. So here's what we came up with initially, and I know you can't see much right now because the camera is janky and it's kind of clips off your view. This backdrop is getting in the way in some cases. You're like, why is this so painful? Yes, well, we're not going to stay in this. We're going to do this. We're going to go to cinematic mode right here. I don't know if you can see that. This little guy right here. Click that, and you've got free view with the camera. And as you can see, I've made a lot of use of the animated assets. We can use WASD, WASD, to move around, and the mouse to change our view. I really like what we've come up with here, but let me show you how we built that exactly. And we'll get to how we'll capture it in a second, but some of you may already guess. Let's do a whole brand new map. I'm going to select my terrain. It's going to be Badlands because, as I said, it's going to be Wild West themed. I think that really suits my setting right now. We're not going to do any water, and we're just going to create an online map. Get rid of this. I like to go all the way out, and just for kicks, I'm going to start timing myself, and we'll see how long this takes ultimately. I'll try to talk my way through it, or maybe I'll throw a voiceover up in the edit. Anyway, here goes. I like to get a good long view of the thing before and identify what assets I really like and what I'm going to double up on. So I know I'm going to want to use some of these stones and get this canyon feeling. Do this guy and raise it up. Yeah. Do that. I also want to change the clipping to off so I can get access to this. And here we go. I think we're going to set it up. Yeah, right here. Too many cacti over here, but I want to get the sense that we're looking out at this landscape more than we're in it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the brush size and intensity. I'm going to raise this portion that we're going to look out over. Bring this guy back up, so that we get a sense of a rise that we kind of can't see past. I have a feeling that will get something out of the players in terms of getting them excited for exploration. Flatten the terrain where you want to be. Just experimenting here. I don't quite know. But yeah, I think that's something like that. Yeah, all right. We got it how we like, what we want it to look like, looking out. I'm trying to think about it as a diorama more than as a top-down map, right? Because we're not going to be using this as a battle map. It's going to be a mood piece, like I said. So let's figure out what we're going to use. I remember the roast pig. We're going to use that. Pig on a spit. Yeah, that was good. Gives us a sense of a little barbecue. Make the players hungry on their break. There we go. Get it just how we like. And because this is going to be something you're looking at directly, you want to make sure that it's on the floor in a correct way and all that. Put this over because I want the pot. Now, I've already identified the assets that I'm going to want to use, so I'm kind of working from memory here. But you can certainly do this ahead of time, too. Just favorite whatever you're going to use and go to it later. Blanket. I need a blanket. That's too big. That's just right. Do that. Do some plates. Now this is minting plates, but you can't really tell the difference at this size. You might not even see a lot of these elements because we're just gonna decide how much we look out on later. But I want to have something there to make that decision, to help that decision for me, right? This is weird. Feels like a bug. But anyway. All right, yeah, there's that. Maybe a bowl of food. Bowl of food. Do another rock. Right there, lower it. Change the angle. We got our fire. Maybe, let's do some tents. 4 minutes. And there's nothing stopping us from expanding this this area, but I want to see if we can make this work as is. Yeah, maybe do this, this way so we get a sense of looking out. Bedrolls, might not even see it, but well, you might see a little bit of it. You can see a bit of it peeking out, just that extra realism that really, I mean, it can't hurt. Throw some backpacks. Just the hint of travel. I really love this asset. It's got that light on it. It's maximum whimsy. Make it smaller. Suggest that it's a halfling or a gnome's backpack. We go, oh yeah, let's do. Again, the other thing I want to do is I'm not shying away from any of the animated assets that Dungeon Alchemist uses. I got this guy. It's called the Dwemer. Look at how weird this thing is. Just spinning around. I have no idea what it does. Neither will the players, but it's there. And it's a cool little thing that we can come up with. What else can I add that's animated? I'm going to do some... Yeah, let's do the familiars. Let's do a cat. Little kitty familiar. Get a good look at him. And an owl, because every wizard gets the owl. I'm going to raise him up, bring him. Wunderbar. We like this. We have a lot to look at right here. And again, same thing. You see the camera's clipped. You can't see much, but we just go cinematic mode. And even this might be enough to get you going. Again, we see what we're looking at. We can adjust. Let's say I want to see more of the cat from that view. So I'm going to put it here. And go back to cinematic mode. And what I'm doing is I'm finding the position that I want to be in with WASD. And already this is done. We can call it done at 8 minutes, and you have your animated pause screen. You have some negative space right at the top where you could put, well, where am I? Where you could put your text, your little be right back screen, your little short rest, intermission, whatever, what have you. Yeah. But I don't think we're done. I think we can really take this to the next level. So let's add in some other things to look at. And zooming out all the way, I'm going to go for clouds. Now, I only have one cloud shape. There are more. We haven't even talked about assets and the Steam Workshop. But just with this, I'm going to duplicate this a bunch of times and connect it. Change the size. Change the positioning. So we can get some sense of forced perspective. What's really cool is you also get the shadow of the cloud on these. There's kind of a sense of continuity of these big chains of cloud. If you're looking from down here, right, which is where we're going to be. Let's do a couple more just to do a little randomness. Wispy puffs. Okay. I will see what that looks like in a second, but I think it's going to be good. You got to really grab the right corners with some of these objects, but that's neither here nor there. What else? I also said we're going to use all the animated assets that we can. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's look for an alchemist table. or a side table even. We can give the sense. I don't know if you can see, but I'm tabbing. Actually, let me undo that and show you what I did. Bring the thing in, and now we have a nice little tea set or a potion that's being made. And if I hit tab on the item, I get this nice little change in what's placed on it. You get an option of what's been set up. Now, what else? I also want to do, like I said, not shying away from animated assets. So let's put some fireflies up in this piece. I feel like that's lightning bugs and June bugs and southern charm and all that. It kind of evokes something of that to me, my time in Texas. Yeah, I think that's enough. Let's take a look at what it looks like, and we'll go from there. And again, we go down into this corner, which is where we're looking out. Decided this is our view. This is our camera one. In cinematic mode, go really in. You see those clouds that we made up there. Again, you don't see all of them, but they're there, and they give me a sense of the space, a sense of the setting, a real good sense of the time of day. Now, we're not done. I could just hit R and not move my mouse and record this. We need about 6 seconds to get a good loop. 6 to 10. Hit R when you're done. It's going to ask you to name it. I'm going to call this C1 because I've done this 2 times already because I screwed up with my camera twice yesterday. But there it is. But again, we're not done. I think we can go even further. And I did mention that I'm going to show you how to get the most bang for your buck on this and how to really get multiple versions out of it. So we have one with the daytime right now. We can also change the time of day. Sunrise, sunset, high noon. Let's do a sunset since it's a rest camp. We can do the morning version of that later. Shadows are long, and we can get even more specific, more detailed with abstract lights or with the direction of the light, the brightness of the light here. This is the direction, I believe, or the height. This is the intensity of the light. You can also change the color of the light. It's a little more subdued here, more of a sense of evening. And what this also will do is it will change the cinematic mode skybox. So if I go down here, you have kind of a pink orange glow, and we can grab this as well for our nighttime scene. 1, 2, I'm not touching the mouse. 3, 4, 5, 6. Call this C2. Done. But I hear you out there, see some of you going to rush into the comments going, this sky looks dumb, this is stupid, why would you do this? Just put a picture up. Yeah, fair enough, bro. But how about I show you another neat little trick. And you get off my back a little. I did mention the assets. We're going to go there right now. We're going to go to Browse Assets. I'm going to show you how I get around this. And it's already there. The Inside Galaxy Skybox gives you a hint of what we're going to do. But let's start with this. I'm going to hit Pano in here. And let's do this one. I haven't tried with this one. The Pano Mountain River Transparent Sky Pano. Right? So I recommend doing this at the very end. Oh, that's why. And just because it's a little bit ungainly, this particular object. But take that. Takes a second for it to download. And here we go. Expand it all the way. Find the view you like. I think let's do off in the distance. You get that sense of curve, that mountain right there. Let's do that. Again, you want to be right in there. You want to get right in there and hit cinematic mode. We're only at 15 minutes. I remind you, we've already got 2 versions, and look at how pretty that is. Don't want that seam right there. So we can either jump out of there and rotate that out, or I can just adjust my view and do this. Now we're at C3. I think this is 3 versions so far. I'm going to show you 2 more. 16 minutes. And as you can see, the workflow's already there. Like it's done. You can pretty much change this out if you don't like it, but right now we're just being nitpicky. We're just trying to find the correct vibe for what we're doing. Let's try... Yeah, I'm going to try Night Sky. Like this one, sometimes it takes a second because it's downloading the asset. There it is. Place it anywhere on your map and just expand it, right? We're going to get real big with it. And we're looking at placing it in this corner right here. But I gotta zoom out, go around. Like I said, it can be a bit ungainly to manipulate these objects. So you might have to do it a couple of times. There we go. And you might even need to do 2 of these. Maybe not. Let's see. Make sure you're not selected anything. We're in cinematic. Slow approach. Okay. Not the best, not the worst either. Considering where we started, we got a little sky. Now, you can even go above and beyond with this too, right? There's ways where we can bring this into CapCut, do an animated sky in the background as well, but that's a whole other video. Let me know in the comments if you're interested. I can show you how to do that as well. But in the meantime, I think this is pretty good for our night sky. I'm going to go back out. Just a little closer there, maybe a little smaller even. And the lighting should also match. Let's do some nighttime lighting, some darkness. Maybe get rid of some of the fireflies, clear some of these. Nice little subtle effect. Yeah, we like that. Again, go back down to my little corner, my little camera one. Hit cinematic mode. And we're at 20 minutes. We have 4 versions. We got our cat, we got our owl, we got our dwemer, whatever a dwemer is. And 4, 5, 6, 8, done. C4. 21 minutes, and wait, there's more. Let's say you want to do a quick change to this. Let's say 6 months have passed and you want to convey that. Let's say it's wintertime. Well, fear not. Go to this tab, or in terrain, and in the change terrain type, where it says no weather, we go snow, and look at that. We have a snowy nighttime scene. Again, we can change the skybox again. We can change the pano box that we were using. But let's do this one last time. Love the little details. This kind of thing definitely sparks some conversation. This is C5. You see that light little skip at the end. We'll cut that out, but before we use it. But there you have it. 22 minutes, and I've got 5 backdrops I can use. I will stop the timer on how to build it. I'll show you how to bring it into Foundry now. And as we exit, yeah, we have our captures here. Put those over here for now. Hold for a second while I bring that all up. Okay, so we're just loaded in to Foundry Virtual Tabletop. Don't mind the scene I'm at here. Cut the music down a bit. But I don't like it. That's a bit distracting. We're going to go to our create a scene setting and try to get this in under 30 minutes. I'm pretty sure it can. We're going to do break 2 or break road. Let's do that. And this is all we're doing. We're doing finding the file on our computer, uploading it. And there it is. Select the file. Put the border to black. And there it is. Let's view our scene. Now, just a couple of things to really get it where we need. We're going to edit. We're going to take out the grid. We are going to set the initial view position to here. That's my calendar. I don't know why it's doing that. Do a quick reload. Alright. Back to our scenes. Yeah, that seems to have fixed it. view. Look at that, right where we want it to be. We got our backdrop, we got our hills, we got our magic fireflies, we got our camp. Love it. Now, we have music playing from our music player, but let's say you wanted something to start when you activated this scene. We just go into here, edit, miscellaneous, scene playlist, find which ones you're going to use. Let's do of Legends Past. We can do a transition type. Only when it's active. Visibility is, make sure visibility is enabled for everyone also. And you won't need token vision for this, so that's a quick little tip. And if we really wanted, we could do some weather effects as well. Some rain, some autumn leaves. Let's do some autumn leaves. And that's too many. Let's take it out. And we'll go in through FX Master, which if you are looking to do this kind of thing, this is a good mod to have, where we can decide there's smaller leaves. There's not that many. Maybe some of them are even transparent. Let's turn them on. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, I like that. Just a few leaves blowing in from the surrounding forest. You can see the effect kind of happening. We can go in and do some fog if we want. And again, we can adjust the direction, the density. It's quite high right now, so we can do that. A little softer. Now we have that hazy feeling of the clouds being right on top of us. Real good storytelling opportunities here, guys. Real good roleplay opportunities even. Are you going to have a piece of that pig? Are you going to get some of that tea? What are you doing with the cat? What's the owl doing on the rock? Etc., etc. Just to show you, here's our final result. But let's view another scene. Let's go from, our basic campsite scene here. You could either look at this during your break, or you could do this and say, all right, guys, be back in 15. Oh, one more trick I want to show you how we're going to add our title screen. And that's really easy. We're going to do a tile. No, we're not going to do a tile. We're going to do a drawing tool. I'm going to draw some text. And the text is right here. Short rest is what we're going to do. Stroke width, let's do 0.5. Stroke color, red. Font family. You have to play around until you find it. But let's try that one. That's not terrible. We'll do a larger stroke. And we'll change this to a 0. We can also get rid of the game paused screen here. Just have this up. And again, I'm just doing this real simple. We're at 31 minutes, but I wanted to show you this particular trick. We can also just bring it in as an image, write that out on another program like GIMP or Canva, and bring it in exactly how you like. I know there is a pretty good font that emulates the D&D. Is it Amiri? Yeah, that's not bad. You can also rotate this guy, and we can make it much larger. There you go. And that is how you use Dungeon Alchemist to create a custom break screen for your Foundry VTT game. And if you want, you can create a whole set for intermission, short rests, or even different scenes that you can use for role-playing or different areas of your campaign. Go ahead and comment your campaign theme, and I'll suggest a break screen idea. Or, if you're really interested, I could go through a series where we try to make a scene custom from scratch. Maybe throw some suggestions in the comments, and I'll see if we can build something off of that. Top or most liked comment we'll make a scene out of. And subscribe and like if you enjoyed this content, got anything from this video. We do D&D actual plays here. There are going to be some links in the description below. But now as well, hopefully DM tips and my DM diary series, and hopefully soon character builds and breakdowns of TTRPG news and events. Once again, thanks for watching. Make sure to check out our live plays down here. And let me know if you'd like me to do more videos about map making or Foundry VTT, maybe a follow-up on animated landing pages and building out those assets. Okay, thanks again, beautiful people. See you in the comments, and see you next time.